Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the month of May, and we have a lot of astrological events here to occur in May. Probably the most important is that Jupiter is about to transit into Taurus. Now, please remember, I am a sidereal Vedic astrologer, and this is different than Western tropical astrology. But never forget that sidereal astrology is the true placements of where the planets are astronomically. That is huge. And that is one of the reasons why I think Vedic astrology is so profound with prediction. Now, before I get going, I want to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org. You will get all of my predictions delivered to your email address every week. And I want to point out that I have an amazing Patreon page where you can join our community and join classes and discounts. It is truly amazing. Check it out on galacticcenter.org. And don't forget, if you want to learn Vedic astrology, I have a school, University of VedicAstrology.com. It's all self-paced online. So let's get going. Let's talk about what May has to offer us this month, because there is so many things about to transpire this month. It is truly groundbreaking. So Jupiter is going to transit into Taurus May 1st. It will remain in Taurus for a little over a year till May 14th of 2025. Jupiter stays in a sign approximately for 1 year. Now, if you want to get a sense of what this Jupiter shifting into a new sign means for you, let's just reflect back to the year of May of 2012 through May of 2013. Now, of course, there was a lot of other astrological events happening back then that would change what your experiences were exactly. But if you think back to that time, whatever opportunities that came to you, whatever expansion happened during that time, it will be similar again. You will experience these same opportunities and expansion and good things, positive things. Jupiter is abundance, it's wealth, it's opportunities, and it's expansion. So the positive things that happened in your life from 2012 to 13 will reoccur. So let's think about that. That's a big deal. Now, what does Taurus rule? In mundane astrology, when I talk about mundane astrology, what I'm talking about is world astrology, how this affects the world. And so Jupiter in Taurus, Taurus rules produce, food, and it also rules finances and money. It rules the banking world. This is a big deal with Jupiter being in Taurus. And really, when I think about Jupiter in Taurus, I think about so many things about how we get our produce, farming, foods, but most of all, financial markets. And the most important thing that I think about with the financial markets, when I think about them, I always think about how Jupiter and Saturn are aspecting one another, because Jupiter and Saturn are called the social planets. And they're called the social planets because they rule the economy. The economy is a big deal. This is what makes the world go round. People spending money, infiltrating money into different businesses, and we all have to have money. So this is an important issue for all of us. And as we know, financially, things have been going up in price. So Jupiter in Taurus isn't going to calm this down. But Jupiter's aspect to Saturn is going to give information as to what the economy is going to be about. And since Saturn is in Aquarius and Jupiter's in Taurus, they're actually going to be forming a square aspect, 90 degrees. And I wanted to show you a book, which I actually have got a new cover, but this is my book that is Finding Money. Actually, the new edition is called Finding Money, Luck, Good Fortune, and Good Fortune Using Astrology. I wrote this book many years ago, but it is so relevant today because it talks a lot about the cycles of Jupiter and Saturn and how they've affected the economy. So in that book, I quoted that when Jupiter and Saturn are in a square, that this indicates growth through hard work and effort. There will be events that create massive growth, many changes politically that will expand the economy for more opportunities. Now, one thing I can assure you is this. Yes, there's going to be many changes politically while Jupiter is in Taurus. This is huge. And I can assure you it's going to be the focus of everyone because all around the world, there's been so many changes in political leaders and leadership. And yes, we're going to have a huge change in the United States. It's going to be the focus of everyone. This political run that's happening this year in 2024 is going to consume most of our attention. I will keep you posted on all of that. Those of you that got my world predictions the beginning of the year know what my predictions are in this political front. They're still available on my website if you want to see my, I think it was a 6-hour class on what you can expect around the world, my predictions. But just to give you an idea of what we can expect, it's going to be a radical shift in change. Around the elections, look out. There may be a big split coming for the U.S. Now, because Jupiter in Taurus will have extremes based on the economy, another thing that has to be taken into account is where Rahu and Ketu are relative to Jupiter and Saturn to really see what is going on in the world, especially economically. Now, looking ahead, there is an incredibly powerful aspect between Saturn and Rahu coming. And I'll just get you looking where things will start to deteriorate seriously in the economy. And this will be more or less in 2025. I'm looking at March 29th through May 29th of 2025. Look out, there will be an event that will change the world again. But this is really big. And this will be crucial and will have a major effect economically around the world. But so much about that. Let's focus on May, because sure enough, May is chock full of events that are going to change things historically in the world. And one of the major events that is happening in May that is monumental, and I mean this, that the changes that are occurring are happening so quickly, and time seems like it's speeding up. But Mars, as it goes into Pisces, is going to come together with Rahu. And I know this happens like every 2 years. But this Mars is coming not only with Rahu, but it's going to cross over the previous eclipse degree. And I have many times said when this happens, a major event happens. And usually Mars is the planet of war, attacks, and violence. Anger, frustration, all of these things. We're all going to be feeling this. but this is going to be the focus of May. And let me just say, this could mean an attack. But I'm looking at particularly when Mars will cross over. Well, first, let me give you the whole lowdown of Mars while it's in Pisces, because Mars will be in Pisces April 22nd through June 1st. So this pretty much covers all of May, but it will conjunct Neptune. Mars will conjunct Neptune on April 29th. And what this is going to trigger, and this will already be in effect by May 1st, is an extreme jump in the price of oil and gas. Neptune rules oil and gas. And notoriously, every time Mars crosses over Neptune, it causes prices for fuel to spike. And this causes everything in the economy to be more expensive. Why? Because the transportation goes up. To transport foods, to transport anything, even airfares in the sky. This causes the economy for things to be even more expensive. Imagine that. This is what this is going to do. So everything is going to increase in price. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is there are a lot of time periods in this month that I'm seeing be careful, caution, caution. So one that really stands out to me is around May 18th. And this is where around the time that Mars will conjunct Rahu. And Rahu, by the way, is the north node of the moon, those of you that work with Western astrology. And on this day, Mars will cross over the previous eclipse degree, which was at 25 degrees of Pisces. So that's where the sun and the moon came together for that total spectacular solar eclipse. I don't know if any of you saw it, but I'm here in Dallas and it was amazing. I have never experienced that, where in the middle of the day it becomes night. That was astounding. That was really eerie too, I gotta say. And the temperature dropped. You could see the stars in the sky suddenly. Amazing experience. I kind of understand now why people will chase around in the world a total solar eclipse to experience that. It's just amazing, breathtaking. So here is actually it's going to be that on the 18th, that's when Mars hits Rahu, but by May 26th, that's when Mars crosses over the previous eclipse degree, which is 25 degrees of Pisces. So this can indicate what? Attacks. And so I pulled it up for the United States chart, and it happens to be occurring in the 4th house for the chart that I use for the United States. Now, the 4th house represents in mundane astrology the homeland. So this is crucial that we could have attacks in the homeland. And this also, I looked at the chart for the United States, and interestingly enough, but natal Saturn in that chart sits in the 10th house at 24 degrees of Virgo, right opposed that eclipse degree. And because natal Saturn sits in the 10th house of the United States chart, that's the government and that's the leader. And yes, this could mean a change of leadership. Maybe President Biden is going to step down in some way, but something big is happening. Or just that he's got an enormous pressure to do things for the United States, and it's probably due to a major attack. Now, I hope I'm completely wrong about this, but we will see. This is what the astrology is indicating. So it represents some serious problems for the United States with Mars aspecting Saturn, the eclipse degree, natal Saturn, I'm talking about in the United States chart, but it's going to be opposed that. It's incredible what I'm seeing. So I believe there is an impending attack on the U.S. that will cause a major breakup for the U.S. government. So here is the window of time to be the most cautious. Now I see others, I'm going to fill you in with that. But May 16th, just to give you a range right before the 18th. So May 16th through the 28th of May, I think are the most crucial because Rahu will be conjunct, Mars will be conjunct Rahu and cross over the eclipse degree. A lot is going on though from April through May, astrologically, the end of April through May and the total solar eclipse that happened April 8th set the tone for everything that's going to evolve over the next 6 months. And this is, and you well feel it and know it, life-changing. It is life-changing what we're about to experience here for the next 6 months throughout the end of 2024. But this solar eclipse really opened up all the hidden agendas. Now we can see things clearly. Things are coming about that we couldn't see before. Now it's becoming clearer. And it's going to bring many unexpected events. That's, I can say for sure. But because you're listening to this, you will be prepared and it will be expected, should I say. But this conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus that are going to occur, by this time it will have already occurred, on April 20th. By the time you're seeing this, this is major expansion. This is the Great Awakening. And the Great Awakening may not be as easy as you think, because I believe there's got to be destruction before the healing can take place. And this is truly the laws of this world. And when you even go back to Hindu philosophy, the dancing Shiva is actually the destroyer and destruction. But really what it means is to destroy the Maya. What is Maya? The illusion. And that's what's happening. That's why I call this the Great Awakening. This is incredible. Now, there's a short period of time where I see where Mars will be in Pisces, but Jupiter still is in Aries right before it goes into Taurus, May 1st. And that happens April 22nd till May 1st, because Jupiter's still in Aries, ruled by Mars, and Mars is in Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. There's an exchange of energy with Jupiter and Mars in that short period of time. And that intensifies the power of Mars. And Mars, let me remind you, magnifies war-like energy. But there's another variable when Jupiter goes into Taurus. Venus becomes stronger. And for those of you that are into astrology, let me just give you a little lowdown of what's going to be happening the first few weeks of May. Jupiter is going to be combust the sun. In other words, conjunct the sun. It weakens Jupiter. Jupiter doesn't have the power of protection, and this isn't good. Besides, Mars is crossing closer and closer to Rahu. And I have to say, everything changes this month because of this. And Venus is going to be traveling with Jupiter. And they're going to be in planetary war this month too, which means that Jupiter and Venus are weakened. And this breaks down the power of protection. But if you didn't understand anything I said astrologically, here's what I want you to know. Be aware the world is changing this month. It will be evident where the explosive energy is coming from. And with all the threats crossing the U.S. border, and I know there's all this going on around the world, really. You know, Taiwan, Ukraine, Israel, all of this. People are up in arms and there's attacks. But May looks like the month that it could happen in the U.S. Many people ask me so many times, where is this going to happen? And in astrology, mundane astrology, it is very, very difficult to surmise where it will happen. And that would mean I'd have to do the chart for every city in the United States. Now, I don't have time for that, needless to say. But I want you to know something. I had an intuition, an intuitive vision or sense that came to me very profoundly. And I was given the information that this could happen in a city that starts with San, S-A-N. So think about it. There is San Diego, there's San Francisco, but the one that really became stronger is San Antonio. Now, I am praying that nothing happens, and hopefully this is true. But if you're in San Antonio, please steer clear of crowded places. And around these times, don't go to massively crowded places, just to make sure you're okay during this time. And I started thinking, well, what is going on in San Antonio? And what came to mind is Cinco de Mayo, which is always May 5th. Please be careful, don't go to crowded places. That's all I want to say. And hopefully this all can be averted with our prayers, our meditations, and healing energy. Put that out there. Put that out there. We have to be in alignment with the light and our spirituality in order to avert and heal these problems and heal the planet. But I've got to say, this is what came to me. And I get this information to help us avoid things, to be clear, to not be affected by this. Now, what can you do during this month? Well, one thing I want you to do is to be confident that you're protected, and you will be. I promise you that. But don't be going to crowded places just this month, just to avert anything. Mars Rahu in the eclipse degree is radical. It really is a serious thing to be aware of. But I don't want you to be in fear, because fear is what can attract more problems to you. And know that you are protected by keeping in touch with your divinity within, your spirit, who you are. Listen to your intuitive voice. It will tell you where to be and where not to be and protect you. I can promise you that. So what's happening? A lot of people say, you know, what is this world coming to? What's happening? All of this has been brewing for such a long time. And finally, everything's coming to the purging of everything that's been going on. This is the year. Now, it takes years to bring this all up, but all the hidden agendas, all the secrets, the lies are going to be revealed. And they already are pretty much getting out there. But what I feel like this forward movement is bringing things to the surface. And yes, there has to be destruction to clear the air for the future. This is truly what this is about. And remember what I said about Shiva. Shiva is the destroyer. And through destroying this darkness comes the destruction of the illusion, which is, by the way, the nature of this world. That's how it works. There will be destruction to clear the air. So this is a birthing process. It is most doubtedly a purging and a birthing. And realize that we chose to come to this planet during this time to be a part of this dramatic transformation of consciousness, of healing of our planet, and healing of each other. And if you think everything is out there, there is this ugliness and terrible world, remember, what is out there is somewhat a reflection of what's within you. And so what's going to be revealed during this month and throughout this whole year is that you're going to see more and more of the shadow side that's within you. So as you see the things out there that you don't like, realize there's something about that for you to learn about yourself. It's a healing for all of us, and all of us have this. No one is exempt from their shadow side. But this is so beautiful to be able to understand this and to heal it. This is an important time to be born, to make this major shift. And it is a very, very huge shift in human consciousness. And we're all going to go through this together. So the outside world and all of its corruption, somehow we're seeing all that, but it's something within ourselves to heal. Just realize this. This is what I'm going to close with. Realize that everything in our lives and in the world is happening for a divine reason. And it is always, always bringing us to the realization of something much better. Something much, much better. So the destruction of the darkness that's going to bring us into the light, yes, it's going to be very destructive, but realize this is for the higher good of everyone on the planet. It truly is. Everything happens for a good reason, and everything is to teach us something more about ourselves and about our world. And because of all that's happening, this is a reason for a great, great transformation in human consciousness, and it's a positive transformation for humanity. This is what is happening. And I want all of you to stay in touch with the fact that you are divinely protected. There is nothing to fear. Let the world transform and change, because it must, to bring us to that better place and that better world that we are going to be experiencing in our lifetime and to pass on to our children. So with that, I'll close. Remember, if you would like to learn more about me, if you would like to get a reading, sign up for my free newsletter, as well as sign up for my Patreon page and become a member and part of our community, go to galacticcenter.org. And remember, if you want to learn Vedic astrology, I have the most stellar, amazing astrology school called the University of VedicAstrology.com, and become a part of our astrological community. Become my student. I'd love to meet you. Thank you.